Okay, if you look right here, this is the start of the assembly models. This is the jack lift. Now what you need to do first, this is what or hopefully you can get to. Now don't worry because you're not going to have to make this part. You're going to steal the parts from a file that I'm going to give you that already has the parts made. What I want you to do is try to assemble these parts, and you should have no trouble doing this. So what we need to do first is we're going to minimize this, and we're going to go into, actually hold on, let me get back to Inventor. You're going to have parts saved into your 7.1 more dimensioning folder, okay? And it's going to be 2 files, and those files are going to be in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over new. So first I'm going to go to new, and notice how in my projects folder it is activity 7.1 more dimensioning. Alright, and I'm going to standard IAM. Now once I'm in there, I'm going to place those parts on there. So when I go to place, you're going to see that folder. So in my folder, now this is the folder that I already downloaded that I'm going to give to you. So if I go back, this is activity 7.1 more dimensioning, and you notice I have 2 folders in here: 7.0 student jacklift inventor files and 7.0 student T9 automobile blocks inventor parts files. So we're going to open up the student jacklift inventor files, and then these are the 3 pieces that you are going to have and put on the assembly. Here's the base piece right here, here's the wedge, and then here's the wedge screw. Okay, the first one we want to place on there, and then ground is the base. So there's the base. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to use my roller on my mouse and then move it back into the screen. I'm going to right click, actually I'm going to click, and then right click and hit OK. Okay, and I'm going to kind of put that, use my mouse roller to move it back and forth so I can see the whole part, and the other 2 parts I'm going to put on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit grounded, and notice over here in the browser bar I have a little thumbnail or push pin, I call it, right there. Okay, I'm going to place those other 2 parts on there. So I'm going to do the wedge. Again, I right click and hit OK. So there's the wedge, and I'm going to place the wedge screw on there. Click, right click, hit OK. Okay, so what they want you to do first is they want you to mate, or actually tangent this wedge screw into this spot right here. So I'm going to go to constrain, I'm going to go to tangent, and I'm going to click on this right here because it's the wall I'm going to tangent to this cylinder right here. And notice how I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to exit out of that so I can show you. This thing moves back and forth still because it still has degrees of freedom on there, but it's locked into place. Okay, so it still moves around, but it's locked in place. So I'm going to move it back because I want to then put a tangent on this part right here, if you can see that. But this time, rather than using tangent, I'm going to use mate. So here's mate in the constraints. So I'm going to click on this, and what I have to use is the view cube, and then click on this back wall back here. I'm going to hit apply. Alright, then I'm going to go back to the home button so I can go back. Now if you notice, I got out of the constraints so I can move this around and see it still moves around, but it's locked into place. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this what is it called, the wedge on top of this. So I'm going to mate that right here. I have to do the bottom of that. So see if to back up the screen. I'm going to put that on top, and I'm going to go over here so you can see it, and then hit apply. Now notice how that's not the right direction. Alright, it's not a big deal, we're going to mate this again, but this time we're going to use the centers of those holes. So see how I made the center of that hole just by going over, moving my mouse over there. So I'm going to click on that center, and see how it made another center from the wedge screw. And right there, it just kind of like put itself in place. I'm going to apply, but it's still not in the right spot. So we need to flush these front ends. So I'm going to flush this here and here, and then you just made the shape. Okay. Now some things that they want you to see is they want to see if that is correct. Like you go to inspect and you go analyze interference. So if I go and define set 1, which is this right here, the wedge, and then define set 2 to see, click on here, click on the wedge screw, and hit OK. Now right here, this is the interference that you're going to get. And it just says a total of 1 interference was detected with a total volume of 0.200 inch cubed. So it's okay. So we're good right here. What you want to do is you want to go to iPro, save as, and you want to save this as, I already have this saved as jacklift, into your activity 7.1 more dimensioning file. Okay? And then that's it.